Welcome to Behind the Badge with your special guest, Lieutenant Williams, your news source for all things police in the city of Fond du Lac.
KFIZ Today continues on the one you depend on, News Talk 1450 KFIZ and 100.7 FM. It's Behind the Badge, our weekly check-in with the Fond du Lac Police Department and Lieutenant Williams. Always great to have you in here. How's it going today?
Always great to be here, and it is going well. All the holiday stuff coming up, so it's been fun times, and also you kind of get that lull. You're like, oh, we're so close. Like you kind of just you lose a little motivation at work, but you gotta keep your eyes on the prize and keep moving forward. So.
For me, I know we were talking about it. My daughter's birthday, December 12th. So her having a birthday like in the middle of the month, that just makes December even crazier, right? It's like every weekend there's either a birthday party or there's a Christmas thing. For her, it's nice, right? Because it's like presents every single weekend at some family members.
I also have a Christmas Eve child. So. Yes, and she always is very angry about how we do the birthday parties and when we do the birthday party. We're going to be doing it on the 23rd this year, so I understand your pain.
You can relate, relate. Well, speaking of gifts, shop with the cop, and that's what you want to talk about today.
Yeah, I hate to reveal some of our radio secrets, but we are actually filming this in advance. Shop with the Cop was actually last Wednesday. But this is actually taped before Shop with the Cop. But I just want to talk a little bit about that event and what it entails and stuff.
Absolutely. So tell us more.
So we partner with the Sheriff's Department, and actually I'll say we're kind of like the tag-along of the Sheriff's Department. They've been running the show for a while, and they do a really good job. It's kind of been passed on. Since I've been here, I know Deputy Tackett was running it, and now Deputy School Resource Officer Kieran Weed, who actually used to be a city patrol officer, now is county SRO. He is now running the show, and it's basically a great opportunity that the Fond du Lac Police Department and the county do. They get together and they allow kids from families that may not have the biggest amount of income and stuff like that. It allows them to go shopping for their loved ones. So a lot of people think that you're taking the kids shopping for themselves, and it's not what it is. So they get an opportunity to actually go and buy gifts for family members. And luckily, we go through Walmart, who's been a great partner of that organization. They usually throw in some stuff. We go through the whole thing. So how the day usually works is the kids come in usually through the Boys and Girls Club, which is how they, I believe, how they apply to be part of this. And they come in by the busload, and they get matched up with an officer. I think they get fed some pizza too. And so that officer and that child go around the store, and we have a budget, so we learn a little bit about budgeting, and we pick out presents for family members. And luckily, we were allowed to go over that budget a little bit here and there. I've actually seen, and I have seen officers or myself maybe pull out a little extra money because maybe someone's got a big family. But there's also some things like coats that we can get for the kids, for themselves. There's actually a wrapping station usually where we can wrap the presents for them. And usually we allow them to pick out something nice for themselves too. So you have these kids that have never had this opportunity. They're not from a place of wealth where they've been able to have the opportunity to actually buy presents, and to see that when they have this money, they're thinking of others and not themselves, which is a great thing. It kind of restores your faith in humanity, and that they enjoy this. They want to buy stuff for others to make their Christmas better. It's sometimes there's some really heartfelt things where, they're like, well, they really need like underwear, or, they really need like socks. And when it's those types of things, it kind of makes you reflect on your own life and say, hey, all this extra stuff is just that, it's extra, and there's a lot of people out there that have needs and not just wants. So it's great for officers. I think officers probably get more out of it than the children do, even though they're getting the cash and prizes and all that stuff. But I've done it for numerous years, and unfortunately with COVID, for the last, I think it's been the last 3 years now. God, COVID lasted that long. But we hadn't had kids, so it was kind of, it turned into, I don't know, do you remember the show Supermarket Sweep?
Oh, absolutely.
So I used to love that show. I always wanted to do that. Like
Me
when
too.
I was a kid, I had dreams of going to a toy store and just doing the supermarket sweep and just scraping the aisle.
Yeah, just going
Yes.
down, putting up with as much as I can fit in that
Oh.
shopping cart as possible.
That would have been great. So, but the last couple of years it was like that. So you get lists, you get Christmas lists, and you would have to go and fill these Christmas lists. I thought it was fun. Like I would stay there and people, a lot of people just do like 1 or 2 kids. I probably did like 10, 15 kids. Like I love to do it and just find stuff and fill the carts, and then we filled out bags and we had to deliver the bags. Well, thank God, I've come a long way in the years and the kids are back. The kids are back this year. So I'm looking forward to it. It's one of those things where when the city and the county get together, it shows some remarkable things that we can do, and it brings us together such a great cause. And it's not just us, actually. I should mention that probation parole officers are there, correctional officers are there, our community service officers, even like nearby jurisdictions. I remember seeing some of my friends from Ripon there, Waupun, will even come. So kind of agencies throughout Fond du Lac County will all be there as well. So I make sure I remember them too.
Absolutely. And is that something supported by donations? And if yes, how can people contribute to that, certainly around the holidays, but then just obviously throughout the year?
Definitely, it is supported through donations. I believe it's through Cops for Kids. I don't want to get that wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. If you did want to donate, someone wanted to donate to that, if you went through the Boys and Girls Club, they could definitely, point you in the right direction for that, because they kind of orchestrate the buses and things like that. It's kind of an experience. You have to be able to talk to kids, because sometimes you'll get a kid that's of a younger age, and trying to pry answers out of them can be difficult. Now, and this is really what it's about for officers, is breaking down that barrier of the uniform. We want to wear our uniforms so that we can show that we're an approachable person, because think about in times of crisis where we might have to get a child out of a bad situation. We need to have those ties so that the officer so the child would come to us in times of need and not fear us. And there have been a lot of things in the community and where that's given police a bad name that maybe kind of push us towards that fear side. This would be one of those things that breaks down those barriers and says, hey, this person's not bad. And it does take a certain person to talk to a child, get on their level, and me being an SRO for a while and stuff, I feel like I've learned kind of how to do it, but it doesn't come right away, right? Sometimes you just takes a while, and then they finally open up, or you find like one of their friends and they're more comfortable shopping with someone else. So there's a couple tricks to it, but the main thing is that we don't want to intimidate children in our uniforms. I personally can say I've been on SWAT calls where we have removed children from very dangerous situations. And if we were not approachable, or if the children were as fearful of us as they were of the situation, we would not have been able to do that. And we can save lives by breaking down those barriers, showing that we are our human side. And this program is just one of those things that gives us a great opportunity to do that.
Absolutely. It is a great program, and kudos to you guys for doing it. Not surprised at all that you said that you guys probably get more out of it than the kids, and the kids certainly get a lot out of it, but I can see where it would be rewarding for you as the officers.
Yeah, it is. It's an amazing event, and thank you to Deputy Weed. Maybe I'll tell him to listen to this, because I'll see him tomorrow, the Wednesday tomorrow, not actual Saturday. But breaking down the fourth wall here.
It's all good. No worries.
But yeah, I'll tell him to listen to the radio show and I give him props. But it's a big ordeal. Like, there's a lot of organization, and I'm gonna imagine, because I actually just called him before this. His phone is probably just ringing off the hook from every single source. So, but I used to be the guy when with the COVID ones, is we would bring a trailer down there and we would fill it with probably like 50 to 60 sacks of toys. Wow. That we'd have to hand deliver to families. But now, thank God, the kids are back, so they can just take their gifts with them. Their parents are scheduled to come pick them up and take their gifts shifts and go. So it's an awesome experience. So.
Great, and next week we'll get a recap. You'll be able to let us know how it went.
You'll get a recap, yeah. Also, before I leave here, I got a couple more things to
Sure, yeah.
recap too. We have Captain Scott Kraus, who actually, one of the highest honors an officer can do is go to the FBI Academy. So the FBI Academy is it's an advanced academy for law enforcement, and usually your upper executives, like your chiefs and assistant chiefs, go to this. So he's a captain for us, so he's a ranking member, and he was able to go to the FBI Academy, and he is graduating this week. So hopefully we can hear all his tales and stuff next week and stuff. But it's one of those things where it kind of pushes you to that next level in police work, and you're literally out with the best of the best, the people that run the country as far as police agencies. So it's quite an honor to be selected to it, and it's rigorous because you're at Quantico, Virginia. You have to do physical tests as well as papers. It's basically like getting your master's degree in 6 months. So, but it's all police related. So we're happy to have him back because he runs he's the captain of our detective bureau. So it'll be nice to have the manpower back and stuff for after the holidays, but very proud of him and what he's done there. And I know we just recently did a media post of a child that he met during his journey out there, who became an honorary police officer for the city of Fond du Lac. And if you want to look at that, you can check out our Facebook page, and there's a picture of this kid who's just kind of got a beaming smile and with a Fond du Lac patch, and it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat to see that patch in other places. If anybody out there ever journeys to maybe a tavern establishment over on the east side, that's a police bar. There's several of them out there. You may see a Fond du Lac patch out there because of these FBI classes and stuff. They'll go to these, and sure enough, you bring a police patch, and they staple it up on the wall. So
that's awesome, really cool. All right, is that it for this week?
That's all I got for this week. I got to save some, for additional weeks. So
Absolutely, Lieutenant Williams, we appreciate it as always. Have a great week. We'll catch you next week.
Thank you.